Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I will be sharing a story with you guys, and this is a story of how I did not do so well in my Amazon interviews. It was not a complete disaster, I must say, but it was pretty tough and difficult. So I will be sharing this experience with you, and I will be sharing it because when I went on the internet after I failed my interview, I was feeling so much better about myself when I saw other posts about people who fail their interviews. So maybe this will also make somebody not feel so bad about themselves. So let's get started with the story. So I decided that I was gonna go back in the job market early this year because I wanted to just know what's out there, and I wanted to see how competitive my current skill sets were. And to be honest, I also just wanted to see how much more money I could get. So my first interviews when I went to the job market went very well, but I was not satisfied with the money. So I decided that, okay, maybe I should start aiming a little bit higher. And I think I aimed a little bit too high when I decided to apply for Amazon data science manager job. That, to my surprise, I actually did get an interview. I just went on LinkedIn and I was like, oh, this looks nice. Let's just give it a try. Maybe a manager position might not be so bad. Yeah, So I gave it a try. I applied, and a week later I got this auto email that you could see is an auto-generated email saying that you have been invited to the first interview with blah blah blah, this person, and it is going to be a leadership principles interview. And I was like, what? Leadership principles? What is this? To give you context, Amazon was the first time I ever interviewed with a big tech company. So I've not really had any experience going through these types of interviews. And I did a little bit of research online, and I contacted some of the people within my network to just kind of ask them what should I expect from these interviews. And it pretty much was telling me I should expect a lot, I should do this, I should prepare that. And I was like, I don't have the energy for this. I am unsubscribing to this drama. But I did not unsubscribe to this drama. I decided to go into it anyways, thinking what's the worst that could happen? I could just get a rejection and then just move on with my life, right? Anyways, let's put the story back on track. So I got my first interview and I was like, okay, I am gonna prepare for this closer to the day. The interview was scheduled for 2 weeks. So I was like, oh, I have enough time to prepare. I will prepare when it's closer to the date. And then the date came and I still did not really revise what the leadership principles were. It was 12 p.m. and my interview was at 2. And then I quickly just went on the internet and decided to read them and just read what they are. And then I had my first interview and I was just winging it. And after the interview was done, I was this was the most strange interview I've ever had. The person did not even know what job I was applying for. The person did not even know what a data scientist does. They could not tell me any information about the job I was going to be doing. And I just thought it was so odd. But apparently it's normal with these types of companies, and it's normal with these telephone screenings. So when I did that interview, I was not really feeling it. And I kind of thought I failed it because I was just answering blah, blah, blah. But apparently I did not fail it. So the format of leadership principles is more behavioral. You can Google it on the internet. I signed an NDA, so I can't really say the specific questions, but the song really goes like this. Tell me a story about a time when this happened and how did you deal with it? And you kind of have to use the STAR method to explain it. So the STAR method is situation, task, action, result, something like that. And you have to then say this story, this is what happened and this is what I did and it resulted in that. And this was the impact that it had. And if I could do it all over again, this is what I would change. So that's pretty much how you answer those types of behavior questions. So I got the second interview, which was going to be a technical round. That's going to be live coding round. And I was live coding for a manager position? But apparently the manager positions at Amazon are pretty technical, so they are not like just very fluffy, like managing people type of things. It's like you also have to have very good technical knowledge to get these positions. So I did say that the second round was a technical round, but when I got the invite for the second round, it said that it was going to be an interview with the hiring manager and that it was going to be more on the leadership principles. So when I got this invite, I was like, oh, okay, that should not be so difficult. I already now know how to go about these leadership principles interviews, so I did not prepare. Then the day came for my Amazon interview. Then I decided to, okay, let me open this interview again. And when I opened the interview invite, it said that this is going to be a technical interview with a research scientist and there's going to be some coding. And I was like, what? I was like, what's going on? I was shocked. And I was like, should I back down now? Like, I'm so fried. I'm not ready. I have not practiced my Python. I am freaking out. But then I was like, okay, you know what? Just do it. What's the worst that could happen? You get a rejection and then you move on with your life. I really wanted to cancel this interview. I really just wanted to like get out of it. But I decided to be brave and I had this interview that was at 7 p.m. because you always interview with people in America and that's just how they do it. So the first part of the interview was actually quite fun. It was talking about myself, talking about the projects I've done. And then the second part of the interview was very machine learning focused. And I pretty much had to like show them how I would like translate this business problem to a data problem, to a machine learning problem, what algorithms I've used, what packages I would use, and what results I would get. There was a small Python challenge, and luckily it was like a pandas data manipulation challenge. So that was okay. Even if it took me by surprise, I think like I was lucky that it was not like a lead code question or like something so random, but it was very related to like data science. It was a very data sciencey technical interview. So that was okay. And I kind of left that interview thinking like, well, that wasn't so bad, you know? People always say that these things are so difficult, but I don't think it was that difficult, you know? I felt very confident that I didn't do such a shitty job. I did get a call to the on-site interviews, and that is pretty much was a disaster. Before the on-site interviews, the recruiter gave me a call and she was pretty much telling me what I needed to prepare for the on-site interviews in order to be successful. And I felt like I was screwed over by the recruiter because I did prepare in accordance to what she told me. But when I went into the on-site, it was very different from what I was told. I was told that it was going to be a very manager type interview and it's going to mimic a lot of the interviews that I had in the initial rounds, but that was not the case. And this created a lot of trust issues with recruiters for me going forward. I was so like upset because it was such a huge commitment for me to prepare for these Amazon on-site interviews. Anyways, let's get to that on-site interview experience. I had about 5 rounds with 6 different people, and these rounds were in 2 days. They initially wanted to schedule it for 1 day, but I was like 2 days because everybody was based in America, so everything was happening after hours and I could not be interviewing from like 7 p.m. to like 1 a.m. in the morning. That was not gonna work for me. The first day went extremely well. Had great behavior interview, had a great business case interview, and also had a great bar raiser interview. So the bar raiser is the person that pretty much can make or break your interview, but they want to check how well you fit into the Amazon culture. They also ask you some technical questions to see how well you can communicate technical concepts to a non-technical audience. And I had like 2 bar raisers. So you could read more about bar raiser interviews on Google and just Google that to get more insights on what they're about. But that first day for me, I was like hyped up and I was like, ooh, that was actually a great interview. They asked me stuff like areas that I had experience in. The business case was also in an area I had experience in. It was all machine learning. So I am a machine learning data science person. Major component of my master's of study and the work that I do is machine learning. The second day, on the other hand, the second day was, yeah, but a big but. I don't think like it was mostly because of me. I think like the interviewer I had that day that was grilling me on my technical knowledge and technical experience was just absolutely brutal. Like I felt like this guy was mean while I was trying to explain stuff. It just felt like he was not interested. And that kind of demotivated me in that round or in that interview. Like, I think my morale dropped a lot, and I started, like, you know, when your morale drops and you start acting less confident and stuff, then you kind of just lose it, and the interview is pretty much like screwed up. I really did not like this interviewer. The final interview I had was a nice person, but they decided that they were gonna give me a live coding challenge. And according to the information that I had up front was there's not gonna be any of this nonsense, that this rounds for a manager position is really focused on your experience, business case solving, impact, blah 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 blah, that type of stuff. So when I got there and they said, oh, open up this link, I was like shaking and like thinking like, what's going on, what's happening here? Even talking about it drains my energy. So they gave me like a challenge, and I can't speak about what this challenge was about, but it did not go too bad. The mistake I made, to be honest, was not using R. I used Python because like I thought that if I used R, I'll be shooting myself in the foot, since many people use Python in industry and many companies or technical people respect you if you use Python. But that was a big mistake. I should have gone with my instinct and used R. So learn from my mistake and like rather choose a programming language that you know very, very well. I don't know why I wanted to impress them with my average Python skills instead of my superior R skills. That round ended, and then it ended with the interviewer asking me like other questions, but it seemed as if he was okay with my responses, but you never know what they were thinking in their heads. That's the thing, you never know. You really, really never know what this guy thinks about how you went about solving a specific problem. From my understanding is that it doesn't really matter like if you got the right answer, it's more about how you got to the right answer. So it's also really about their opinion. So there's a little bit of bias in these like live coding interviews. Anyways, let's get to the result. The result of my interview was like, you were not a complete disaster, but you are not good enough for this role, because we believe that you do not have enough technical knowledge or technical tip to be a data science manager at Amazon. However, we believe that you are a good candidate and a good fit for this organization, so we would like to refer you to other less technical roles. Have you ever thought about project management or product management? Yeah, we have those positions available for you. The worst part is that I did consider it. I honestly considered becoming a PM. I thought that maybe this is just the universe's way of telling me that I need to become a product manager and that data science is not for me. I am too dumb to be a data scientist. I'm not technically strong enough to be a data scientist. You need to become a product manager. You're a mother now. These jobs are not for you. These jobs are for men. I was very broken from this interview experience. In summary, I was sad about it. I cried about it. I ate a lot of chocolate. I ate a lot of nonsense. I stopped doing yoga for a bit. So it really impacted my mental health getting this rejection. I went into this Amazon interview not wanting this job badly to actually wanting it badly. So when I got the rejection, it really hurt. And I had to pick myself up again and get energy again to apply for more jobs in the market. I decided to reflect on it, to reflect on what sort of gaps I had, especially in the technical rounds where I had with that mean guy. I kind of remembered and wrote down all those questions that he said and that he asked me. And to be honest, when I then went to interview, when I had interviews after that, I was very good at describing my machine learning projects, describing the innovations that I had around those machine learning projects, the impact they had, how I went about measuring that impact for business, the different challenges, what I would do differently, and what other models and stuff I have tried. Like, I really wrote down in detail all the ML models and projects that I have done and worked on, and this exercise really helped me in my other interview processes. So I think like it was a big lesson learned. A lot of you getting the job has to do with some luck. Imagine if I did not get that mean guy in my interviews and I actually got somebody that was a little bit more on the same wavelength as me in terms of like data science and machine learning and what the standard of a data scientist should be. I think it would have been a completely different experience. The irony is that after I got this rejection, I got an interview with another big tech company that's also like in the manga space, and I did the technical rounds with them. There was a hiring freeze, so I was not able to continue on in the interview processes. But the feedback that I got from the recruiter was that they believe that I've got good technical grasp of data science, and they were impressed by it, and that they wanted me to actually apply for a more technical job that was open in the organization. But I personally did not want to go for a more technical job. I actually still wanted to keep my focus on data science stuff. I did not want to become like a machine learning engineer, ML DevOps, which was really surprising and kind of really contradictory to the feedback that I got at Amazon. So that kind of showed me that a lot of the interview process, it's not really reflective of you. It's not really reflective on what you can do. It's more about like, did I prepare for the right things for this role? So not every negative, bad experience is terrible, especially if you can learn from it. We live, we learn. Like Alanis Morissette says in her song, you know, like that is my go-to song for when I am feeling down and stupid. So that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed listening about my fails at the Amazon interview and how my let's just see what happens drama did not really work out for me, as well as how misinformation during the interview process just screwed me over. And I now have trust issues with recruiters forever. Like, the scar is deep, guys. It's deep. So, yeah. That's it. So make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content, and don't give up on your journeys, guys. Don't give up. Just keep on going. Eventually you find something that is right for you.